Hi enjoyers, today we are going to create our procedural foliage and overall level design using our static meshes. And the results you can see right now here. If you want to get my completed projects and created assets, you can subscribe to my Patreon. There you can find some assets and projects from my videos. I would appreciate any support. You can see right now we don't have material, and the reason is because I just have updated our Unreal Engine version. This is 5.3.1, and for some reason we don't have material. And I have investigated this, and I found that actually after every update they change their engine content, so there is again sampler source must be changed again. So our textures must be all texture wrap. This is why I said in the past we need to change this always to texture wrap. So apply here. Then in the macro variation we also have this texture, but this is shade wrap. Alright, and last one is the single texture bombing. This is in the texture bombing here. This one single sample in the texture bombing function. So here also we need to change texture wrap. So now if I apply this, save, here save, this is alright. We can now see our texture has been returned. This is why we need to make our textures wrap. So let's work with our procedural foliage. First of all, I need to get rid of this white texture. This is our roads, but I don't want to have this type of roads. I need roads to be customized, so I'm going to remove this one. I can here click on the fourth layer, clear layer, and now we have this black part, but this is not actually true. This is bug, don't pay attention. If you restart your editor, you will lose these ways, and you actually need to restart your engine. So here in the editor preference we need to activate procedural foliage. I have already activated procedural foliage. You can also activate this, and you need to restart editor. So let's come back after restarting. Alright, I am in the editor, and this is default map. I'm going to change it, project settings, here maps and mods, and let's make our planet 1 as a starter map. So I'm going to type here planet 1, and here also planet 1. So next time I will instantly open planet 1 when I start my editor. Okay, we still have this ways. Let's build our texture and build geometry. It's interesting because this is actually not a layer. Okay, let's try again. I'm going to import everything except for road. Okay, import. Yeah, now we fixed this problem, and we can work with our procedural landscape geometry. Okay, now we have everything that we want. Let's go to our this is map. Let's add here new folder and call this foliage, and open this one. We need to create procedural foliage volume. Here in the foliage you can find procedural foliage spawner. This is what we want, procedural foliage spawner. I'm going to use planet 1 because in the planet 1 I want to have only one procedural foliage volume. Let's add. First of all, let's save, then edit. You can see this is a little box, so we need to change it. So here we can see our parameters. Let's make it as 100 times larger, like this. And this one we need to make maybe something like 10,000. Let's check it out, how it looks like. It is almost enough for 8. Let's make this 15,000. I think this is enough. We don't have that much hate in our map. Something like this, I guess. Yeah, I think this is enough. But we need to make this one bigger in XY coordination. So I'm going to use 50,000. Now this is almost it. Maybe even it is enough. I'm going to change it to 60,000. Just be sure that we cover everything. Yeah, now I can see it covers everything. And for this part, also it is true. Alright, now we have procedural foliage volume. Let's save everything again. And now we need to actually get our foliage. For that purpose, I need to create, I need to open Quixel Bridge, because actually we have problems with desert props. For desert foliage, you need to buy some stuff because they are not provided in the free packs. You have also wasteland mega scans, and maybe you get some free stuff from free for the month section, but for this month we don't have that stuff, and I'm not going to use free stuff for September because it is unfair for people who will watch this video later. So I'm going to use only free assets, so I'm going to use bridge. In the bridge you actually have 3D plans. You can find out here some stuff for desert. For example, let's try desert. Yeah, you can see here some stuff. You can use even this succulent. I'm going to use not this part because I think we need only wild grass for this part, because this is not a full of life planet. This kind of wasteland type of planet, and this type of planet usually don't have some foliage, so we're going to use more rocks and less foliage. And I already downloaded a lot of stuff for this part. We need not only for procedural foliage, we need also static meshes for our cliffs and some rocks, for example, just for creating our stage. So what we need for procedural foliage is ground rocks, like this limestone rubble, limestone rocks. This part we can use in our procedural foliage. I'm going to use this one. So yeah, you need to download by yourself all this stuff. So yeah, you can click and download in the home 3D assets. Here you can find some nature. Here you can find nature, rock, and here you can find, I used quarry, boulder, cliff, and you can type here also desert, red. You can find some sandstone also and download it. You need a lot of different type of quarries, rocks and stuff, because you need a lot of variations of different type of surfaces, walls and so on. More you have, you will have greater quality. But you know, this requires a lot of time. So be sure you have the time, or otherwise use some of them. I'm going to use a lot of stuff, and I will time lapse later my placement of this all this stuff. So let's add this stuff. Okay, I have downloaded everything what I need, so let's start. First of all, we need to go to our 3D plans. And here I'm going to change color of material. So for this one I'm going to click on grass, for example this one, and here you can find elements like wild grass, and here we need to find, what if I try to change this one? Is it pink? Yeah. Okay, you can see I can change color. Let's make our grass different color, for example purple, or maybe something like, you know, not green, to make this uncommon looking grass, just because this is not a planet, standard Earth-like planet, so we can have some different stuff. For example, something like this. Okay, save. We can now we can also enable nanite and apply. Save and close. Okay, also I'm going to use the same stuff for other type of grass. We have now this purple grass for everything. I'm going to apply this for other grass as well. And you can do this for every type of grass you will use. I'm going to use this too, I guess. This is enough. I'm not going to create a lot of... Maybe I need also one tall type of grass. I think this one. Yeah, this one looks much more like taller type of grass. So I'm going to make this one also enable support. Only 3 type of grass. Now let's go to our master material. And here we need to call master material, and we need to call landscape grass output. We need to create grass type. Let's come back here in the map, open foliage. You can see this one. Let's create another type of foliage, landscape grass type. Landscape grass type planet 1. Open this one. We need to add some grass. So I'm going to add 3 type of grass. We already see that those types. So I'm going to use where it is. Is it here? 3D assets. This is not what we want. We need 3D plants. Yeah, here. Alright, first one is this one. So I'm going to add it here. Next one, click here and add for second type. And last one was, let's try this one and enable support apply. Okay, now I can add this one to our grass type for the third one. Okay, save, close these wild grasses. And now here let's adjust our grass. First of all, I need to change start current distance because we don't have actually fog. We will add it soon, but before that we need to add some call distance because we will see too far. Like this scale, I would say 0.99 to 1.1. This is enough. Then density we will change later. We need to create firstly. Then for this one I don't need anything else. Okay, here grass density is the same. Okay, current distance. Alright, and last one, I want to make this less dense. I need this one to be more rare than common grass. Okay, I'm going this like this one. Save. Let's go to our master material. Here now we can add the only LGT planet 1. Now we need to pull their samples to be sure where this one, layer sample, to be sure where it spawns. Layer sample. This is our common layer. And also let's create duplicate and this one layer 2. Then we need to create static switch parameter. So I'm going to create another, where it is? Here we actually have 5 layers. Let's duplicate every layer, so this must be universal material. So let's create the feature, then we can enable grass on every layer. 3, 4, 5. Okay, first of all this one. Static switch parameter. Enable grass layer 1. Okay. If false, we need to call this one. Okay. And here we need to call the same stuff for this one. And enable layer 2. And connect it here. And then create another 3 for every layer. Okay, connect it. Now we need to add our layers to each other. So I'm going to use add. Apply. Save. And now we need to go to our MI, where it is, MI material for planet, double click. Here we can see now static switch parameters. Enable grass layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can always add more. This tool is checked. Funny enough, it is what we want actually. Let's check it out how it looks like now. I'm going to use planet 1 and let's watch. We don't see. Oh, actually we see. They just so little. I would say they're, or we are too far. Let's do. Yeah. It looks kind of okay. I would say they're just too many. We have a lot of grass here. I need to remove density, but you can see we actually have it. I'm going to make some adjustments here. Density we need to change it to 40, 40, the second one also. And the last one I'm going to make 20 and 20. And let's check out how it looks like now. Okay, I don't see any grass, maybe, yeah, now I see. It looks almost, yeah, almost. I think we need little adjustments now. This one I think is enough for this one. It's not so common, you can see it only occasionally, but for grass I need to change it again. So I'm going to change this one a little bit. This is almost alright. Also, don't use grid. I need them to be random. Also the same for this one. I changed to 30, no grid. And here also 30 and no grid. Save and let's check it out right now. Okay, imagine this is our character, we're walking here and we see grass like this. Okay. Once we add our static meshes, we will get rid of this, field of grass. So let's adjust one more time, but not too much because this is not the final result actually. We need to add some procedural foliage and then compare. So I think this is enough for now. Then let's add our actual procedural foliage. And this part will be very time requiring. You need a lot of time to set up this. But if you have few meshes for foliage, it will be quick. But I have a lot of stuff going on. You can see it here in the 3D assets like this. You can see here 34 folders, and actually our foliage is some of them, not all, but we need to set up all 34 items, so it will take a long time. I'm not going to show you all that stuff, I'm going to show one and as example, and you will just repeat everything for everyone. I'm going to double click on this one. This is floor, and okay, this is slope, actually not a floor. So I'm going to keep this as a static mesh. This is not foliage. Remember this, foliage is only when it is on the ground horizontally. This is slope because you can see here, this is empty space for slope. So I'm going to enable nanite or nanite, I don't know actually how it's pronounced, but okay. And also you can find out here, if you click here show collision and click simple collision, you can see there is no simple collision, only complex. So you have two choices. First one is creating simple collision, but for if this is a walkable floor, I don't recommend to use simple collision. Also, this is not foliage, so yeah, I think the better choice here to make this complex collision. The problem with complex collisions is that if you use complex collision as simple, it requires more resources from your PC to work with this. So if you have a lot of stuff with complex collision, it will make your game laggy, not optimized, and so on. So if this is a decoration or some stuff, you can either remove collision completely or you can create simple collision. If this is just a wall, so you can walk and stuck at the wall, so you can use just simple collision, it is not so important. But for walking floor, it is important because you can walk, for example, on the air and it looks kind of weird. So use here complex collision for floor. Alright, this is one example, but let's find out something like this. This is a foliage for us because this is a ground rock. What we need to do, enable support. We need to create here actually simple collision because this is not floor, this is just one rock. You can see it is kind of okay. Simple collision covers what we want, so I'm going to apply changes here. This is our rock, and then we need to create a foliage type for this rock. So I'm going to for example, actually let's create it inside of Megascans, inside that folder. This must be this rock. So foliage, static mesh foliage, static mesh foliage. What is this? Dotty rock. Open this one and add this exact mesh here. So I'm going to select this one and add here. Here you can see a lot of parameters. We need to set this. We have now one rock. Let's actually spawn them. And actually, I show you how to create your tool. So now we can go to this is static mesh foliage. Let's go to our map. Here we have not this one. We need procedural foliage spawner. This one. Here you can see the foliage type. I can open it, and I have pretty much a lot of stuff. Here you can see my dirty rock. Now save, and all I need, click on my foliage spawner, and here you can find our created foliage spawner, this one, resimulate. Click here. If you don't see this resimulate, it is deactivated, you can click first of all load, unload, and then resimulate. Click on resimulate. Okay, somewhere it must spawn. Yeah, you can see here, for example, I'm going here, this is our rock. First one, some you can see here. Alright, I've shown you how to create actually foliage on the procedural spawner. All you need now is just repeat that whole process for every single asset. For example, I'm going to here, this is canyon, this is not foliage, but I need to go here and enable none. This is important just for optimization, and apply changes. And if this is a foliage, you know what you need to do. Okay, I'm going to skip that part where I set up everything. Also, I forgot to mention collision preset. You need to add collision preset for your stuff. For example, these rocks or some stuff that player cannot pass through, and stone one of that stuff. So collision preset must be blocked all. Yeah. This is my final version for procedural foliage spawner. You can see here there are a lot of different type of stone. You can see small rocks, you can see debris, this medium size, you can see this big rock, yeah, and something like medium in between some rocks, yeah. So this is our stage for now. This is not final version. Of course, we need to add some custom meshes, we need to add some buildings, because you know this is a game, we need to create some game stage. But for foliage, actually this is a rock, not foliage, but technically this is foliage for us. You can see there's a lot of some stuff, and this is good start. Also, I'm going to show you all settings, because this is not easy to do by yourself. I spent something around 5 hours. Yes, there's a lot of stuff because I use a lot of different type of meshes, and I work pretty hard for settings for foliage. So let's start. First of all, let's go to our custom meshes. I changed color of every folder. You can right click here and set color. I used green for foliage and light blue for meshes. So for example, this is not foliage. I can't use this as spawn for spawning, because you can see this is very big stuff and I can't use this randomly, and there is no background, so I need to use this only in specific places. So I must place this only manually, and we will, but not now. Second of all, let's go to the foliage. So you can see these small rocks, for example this limestone, I created in the exact same folder this static mesh foliage, and I have settings for every single one. So let's go to them. This is actually floor debris, and this is my settings. I'm going to slowly scroll down, you can see it. And you need to change collision block all, don't forget about that. So what is this? Actually, collision does matter for spawning. Lesser number makes them more frequently to spawn. Yes. Then number of steps. This must be either very big number, and then you have seeds per step less number, or vice versa. So I'm going to use 20 and 1 for seed per steps. So I have 20 steps with 1 seed per step. You can swap it, but actually you don't need to create clusters of 20 rocks in one place. You need to create 20 different clusters with one rock. This is why I use 20 steps, but only with one rock pair. Then initial seed. This must be bigger number than 5, because this is how many rocks you have at the start, and you need something like 10, 15, not too much, because otherwise you will get spawned a very big number of rocks, for example 1,000 and so on. Spread distance is where seeds will go after spawning one seed. For example, here is one seed, and then it throws to 100 and then spawn another seed. And spread variance changes that number, this 100, by plus and minus 15. So you have 50 or also 150 if you use this 150. Yeah. Then also procedural scale, you can change it. This is the size of your objects. I used 6 to 12, you can use whatever you want, you can experiment with the scale. So yeah, don't be binded by that. And collision preset, of course, block all, because this is object that a character cannot pass through. And this is true for all stuff. I'm not going to return here later. Everything is the same here, block all for everyone. Then here, this is also limestone, this is exactly the same, you can see. And let's go to the other type of rock, which is boulder. Boulder is big rock, this big rock. So I'm going to check our boulder. Boulder is number of step 10 and seeds 5. And collision is the same. This is almost the same, just spread variance is different and seed per step is 5. Because we have a lot of different type of rocks, we need to actually try 5 seeds per step. You can increase this and check out how it looks like. There is no exact formula for this one, but I tried different numbers and this works for me. And scale and other stuff is the same. Yeah, and here you can check out Z offset, you can change it and also try. This is height of spawning. If I try -10, it will move down. Then ground slope angle, and this height is very important. This is slope angle. You need to change it, for example, for this ground debris. I change it to max 12, not here, but it 12 as well, because this is, you can see, for example, let me open the mesh. You can see this is horizontal stuff, and if you try to spawn this on the slope, it can be opened by one side. For example, here you can see there is actually no cover for bottom, so you will have some. I'm trying to find some examples. Actually, let me find, but I guess this time it is perfect. Yeah. Let me destroy some stuff. For example, select this one and let me change like this. Okay. Sometimes you will get this type of problem when it is spawned on the slope like this. So you can actually change it by yourself. Go to the foliage mode, select, you can click on the stuff or this one, change rotation, translate the object, and correct that stuff, for example, like this. And then it looks alright. Also, you can avoid that problem. You need to create basic shape, for example, cube, and place it on the let me change first of all the scale. I'm going to make 1000 and 1000. And you can see right now, this is the height of our landscape spawning. You can move it until you will get satisfied. For example, this is not enough. We need to create here. I can increase that number. And for example, this is okay. I don't want here, for example, or here. This is too big angle. So I'm going to try get something like this. And I can find out here, this is a -12,900. So this is my height. So here I used 12,600 because let's try it. 12,600, something around this one. So I covered everything except these hills and this part. So other than that, I can spawn my rocks. You can do the same for your map and look at it and check out where you want to spawn your rocks. Alright, this is it. For small pebbles I change numbers like this, 3 steps only and 1 per step, because they spawn too many. You can really cover almost all your landscape by these small rocks. So you don't need that. I promise you don't need that. So change the numbers, make them less. Currently there's still a lot, you can see almost all landscape covered by them. So yeah, this is it. Also we can change some grass adjustments if we want. You can add trees if you want. I created one sample just to show you how it looks like. For example, we know that I changed here material, but let's check out this modular sky fight. There is one tree. I changed this one. Okay, you can see this is my tree for Alien Planet. I changed color of leaves. Just double click here, double click on the base material, and I add this vector 3, multiply with my base color, and then connect to base color. The same for slope surface color. There is a surface color. No, not for this one, but here we have emissive color. You can also change it. This is for our where it is, for trunk, or for this part. For leaves, these leaves, you can go to the M grass, and here you have subsurface color, multiply by this and multiply by base color. Also, you can add emissive color as well if you want. Emissive color, just make it glow, so you can see here this part is glowing, and it is kinda cool and uncommon. So yeah, this is how you can create custom materials and trees and, you know, some of that stuff. I'm not going to save because I've already saved, and save this all stuff. Okay, this is what you need to do. Also, you can see some rocks where it is. For example, this is adjusted to our landscape by color, so I can show you as well how to create that. I'm going to my 3D assets. For example, what is this? This is limestone. Double click on any limestone. Here you can find these limestone rocks. You can here find tint and also albedo control. You can use this both. For example, this looks like this one. You can change it to make it more look like, for example, something around this. Looks more similar to our landscape color. And you can save it and close. And then if you see that a rock, it will look like this. This is already adjusted, so you can see it is matching. And you can see here there's a bug, so I need to go to the foliage and change it like this. You can see plenty of that bugs, but I almost avoid every single one. There's too few of them, and we can just manually adjust it. Also, there is a lot of some rocks outside of our playable area, so they don't matter. We are only interested in rocks and other stuff only in our actual stage. I guess I showed you everything that you need for this one. So in the next video we'll create our custom meshes for our stage. So we'll create actually borders for player, because currently I can start, for example, there. You can see actually this is a rendered version. You can see the game looks pretty much cool, and of course there's a bug. Yeah, but we can fix it. You already know how. So the problem is now player can move, and then come here and fall away. We don't need that. We need to create borders. So player, first of all, will not go and fall away. And secondly, the player will not ask questions about why he can't go, because we can actually create blocking collision, so he can't walk. This will be invisible wall, and player can say, what the hell, why I cannot move? But when we create some cliffs, player will not ask that question, because this is a cliff, you can't pass through. So yeah, for now this is it. I hope you find this video useful. If so, hit the like button, share the comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, enjoy. See ya.